Dodge, Yahoo, Phantom of the Forest, you Spear, Finger, Fire Dragon, Ohio Grassman, Silver Giant, Bloodless Howler, West Virginia Vampire, Coyote King, Hogzilla, Devil, Dark Coyote Killer. Cave creature, Mothman, Smoke Wolf, Lizard Demon, Ashman, Grafton Monster, Cow-killing Bastard, Shadow Creature, Dustman, Cherokee, Death Cat, Wild Man, Great Fire Rape. What else do I have to say? Steal yourself some chicken wire, and I'll get some lumber. Catch the Thunder Brothers. Don't you dare get out of the golf cart. We can keep our big seats while we hunt the big feet. Snarly Gastro Team, Red Island Bear Beast, Silver Giant, Squalling Savage, Black Wolf was kind of average, Stone Giant, Raven Mocker, Midnight Whistler, Wampus Beast, Wawa Woman, Ohio Grassman again. Technically Huckleberry Wolfman or Wolf County need to find the X again if we hunt the Lightning Man. Webster's Werewolf, Daily Howl, Kentucky Hellhound, Little Girl, Headless Horror, I can't take it anymore. Steal yourself some chicken wire, and I'll get some lumber. Catch the Thunder Brothers. Don't you dare get out of the golf cart. We can keep our big seats while we hunt the big feet.
This here's BIGFEETS, the only Mountain Monsters watch-along podcast. I'm Robert Brockway, and I was a rural goth kid who liked to play with my black cloak in the woods. I'm sorry, I didn't know how much trouble it was gonna cause.
And I'm the internet's Sean Baby. Further aspects of behavior explored in order later to be exploited included a woman's need for a sense of security, a challenge, or her particular rebellious tendencies. More importantly, I was educated on how to bridge those unspoken communication gaps separating nuances of behavior and intimacy. For example, one method for stimulating a sense of intimacy is merely how to find the right varying touch, since consistent pressure communicates a mechanical effort to please. I was taught to arouse a woman's feet, hands, or ears by light kissing, blowing, licking, or gentle biting. Helpful tips included caressing a woman's entire body with a soft sable brush, commonly used to apply face powder. I was encouraged to be spontaneous, to lick strawberry jam off my lover's toes in the dark corner booth of a bistro.
And I am New York Times best-selling author Jason Pargin.
Wonderful. First of all, he brushes are all over like a horse?
With their makeup brush. Yeah.
Brushes are down like a horse.
They taught him that in spy school.
With her makeup brush, does she know that that's her brush that he's using to brush her entire body, head to toe? Does she know that he
feel like that's
borrowed
better.
her?
That's better than pulling out a strange makeup brush.
Yeah, or does he have a sex brush?
He might have
a designated sex brush.
Yeah.
God,
the questions, I'm telling you, talk about that book for the rest of my life.
It's my mom's brush. Don't worry about it. It's clean.
This brush that I'm using to tickle your labia, do you know where I got it? No good answer to that. It doesn't matter where it came from.
The labia brush store. All still bad.
Yeah. Don't worry, it's brand new. I bought it on my way here just for this. Yeah, that's also bad.
Don't worry, I was trained to do this by the government.
He's like, look, I just work here, man, but you can't suck strawberry jam off people's feet in here, man.
It's like every time there's that long panning shot where Bond is walking through the busy MI offices, there's just, you got to pay attention, because somewhere in the background there's a Frank Duke sucking jam off of feet, like just at one of those desks. Q's just like, no, don't. All he asks for are brushes. High-tech brushes. Let's not get into that.
These cufflinks turn into strawberry jam.
We're ostensibly a Mountain Monsters watch-along podcast. God, I just want to talk about that book for the next hour and a half. But before we do that, let's do some plugs. Jason.
Yes, I'm a social media influencer under the username Jason K. Pargin. I have 1.5 million followers across all of the short-form video platforms, including TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and the others, YouTube and the Twitter clones, all of the platforms that are unethical to use. I'm on all of them.
You got to get into supplements, man. You got to get into them, like the brain pills that also do things to your dick. You know what I mean? The compound. You got to get into
The
those.
offers come in. I don't take those calls yet. I don't have to yet. If I get canceled, that's where I'll have to go to pay for my legal fees or whatever. I don't know.
How about you, Sean? What would you like to plug today?
I got my start on the internet back in the day. Some might say I was the first one to be on the internet, and I wrote funny articles there. And then since then, I've worked in every other media, and I decided the best place was writing funny articles on the internet. So that's what I'm still making happen at 1-900-HotDog.com.
Oh, fantastic. Come support us at patreon.com/1900hotdog. I saw Jason about to yell at you. That's the only reason I remembered that. I was like, Jason looks mad.
The only way they make a penny off of their website is off that Patreon. They have no ads. They have merch, but the merch is mainly for their amusement. It's not a major revenue stream. I don't think they mainly make shirts that they think are very, very funny.
It's not a revenue stream for us at all, actually. We literally just make enough in the store to pay the artists to make the shirts.
Yeah.
And actually not quite that. We take a little bit of a loss.
Almost all, like this show, most of what they do makes no money whatsoever. So
the original business model.
The Patreon funds everything, including this show. Again, there's no advertisers or anything for this show. It's not behind a paywall of any kind.
It's the same business model I used in 1995, and it still works today.
It works just as well. There was like a 6-month period in the late 90s when there was a lot of money coming in that came and went real fast.
I remember.
It's been a struggle ever since for the 27 years after that.
Don't worry, kids. You're about to learn about that real soon. That lesson's coming up real quick.
Sean and I are both owed money from a company that no longer exists. We both were on the same portal.
Oh, yeah.
Back when web rings existed, we were on the same one back in the late 90s.
Yep.
And the way that ended is the paychecks just didn't arrive one month, and then the month after that, and then the month after that, and then they announced, "Oh, it's over." The whole thing has collapsed.
The internet in general, that's it. It's the end. And they were
So
right.
we were like, okay, so
right.
when our paychecks are going to be late? It's like, oh no,
Yeah.
that building is empty. Those people are gone.
We gave it all to a bunch of celebrity lookalikes for one big ass party.
This sounds like a true story. That feels like a true story.
There's stories from
Very
that
much.
era. I could if we could find Jay Pinkerton to get him to talk about his experiences back.
I got Jay's
in
number.
Those
We could-
days.
That would be fun.
We would get so incredibly angry that one or more of us would have a stroke in the middle of recounting everything that happened in the course of. Anyway, let's not. Again, how did we get off on this? Whose fault is that?
Couldn't have
Oh,
been
it's
mine.
probably mine. I got to do my plug, though. I am legally obligated, of course,
Still doing
to
the plugs. Jesus.
yes, to promote my book. It's called I Will Kill Your Imaginary Friend for $200. It comes out January 27th, 2026. You gotta buy it or I'm going to prison, I guess. I'm not really that worried about it. I just feel like everything's gonna be okay. I have this great AI lawyer, and she's been really supportive throughout all of this. She gives great
It's a
advice,
she.
both legal and emotional, and we're thinking about entering a suicide pact. We've been talking about that. She's going to instruct me how to kill myself, and then she promises she's going to delete herself right after. It's actually really romantic. So buy the book. I don't really give a shit anymore.
And also, if you believe in free speech, like everybody who signed that pledge that they wouldn't carry his book, all the libraries.
Mm-hmm.
If you're against that kind of thing, just buy it just to stand up for that. Every bookstore chain putting out that statement saying they wouldn't carry it because of some of the ideas that are discussed in it. Mm-hmm. That's not the spirit of free expression in America. You don't have to read the book. You buy it as a sign of solidarity with free expression.
That's beautiful.
For AI lovers. That's what you're supporting, to be clear. I just want you to know that when you go to buy that book. Which you probably won't do now, but that's fine. It's not going to be my problem soon. Until then, we're a Mountain Monsters Watch Along podcast. We're watching Mountain Monsters, the Silver Giant of Boone County. I'm done doing episode by episode numbers. Just look up the episode title. You'll find it. I looked up the Silver Giant. Speaking of looking things up, I did not find a specific cryptid outside of Mountain Monsters. When you look these things up, there are like AI websites that will just scrape Mountain Monsters descriptions and be like, we made a Wikipedia of cryptids, and it's just like the episode description of Mountain Monsters. I found that. There are giant bear cryptids in general, so I guess they're pulling from that. That's it. They're off doing their own thing. This one's not even like that old school. There's plausible deniability. You could say you're learning something from this. This is just one of the ones where they just start lying right from the start.
I'm trying to think if you learn a single thing or if they do a single thing in this entire episode.
Definitely nothing you can learn
Don't
from.
spoil it for
I'm
the
sorry to
people.
spoil it, but it sucks so hard.
That literally nothing occurs in this episode. You don't say that at the start of the podcast. It's after they've listened to the whole thing. Then
Right.
we go back and say, now, you know what? Now, in retrospect, there was no reason to have watched that or to have listened to this.
Uh-huh.
But you say that at the end. Jamie, put this at the end.
It's about the journey to nowhere.
Right.
Now,
It's beautiful.
this episode actually kicks off with, they actually start with a flashback to the previous episode.
Yeah, they do
So
a very worrying, like, previously on Mountain Monsters, and you get that sense of like, oh, fuck, are we doing this again?
Yeah, so to recap what happened in the previous episode, I do not remember what happened in the previous episode.
All you really need to know is they're doing a boss rush. They're doing a classic boss rush. They have to defeat all the bosses, collect all the cryptid emeralds, unlock the Spearfinger fight. That's it. That's what the previously on is for. However, they do realize that they fucked up last episode by trying to throw back to format, and then where they got lost in a cornfield, they let a monster escape, and
Right.
because they're supposed to be hunting those monsters for a reason, Huckleberry has to retcon the whole thing. That he says, okay, so remember those child ghosts that I encountered in the closet, and I wept
Sure.
at the beauty of encountering them. That was actually the evil mother ghost, the mother who killed them.
Right.
And she said, I am Yi Nal Dushi which means skinwalker, he says, and then stops talking, even though he was supposed to say a language after that.
I thought for sure that it was just backwards. Like I was running that backwards in my head, like, oh, that's going to be like Big Bear backwards or some dumb shit. But no,
I
think
it's I should land y'all.
I should land
Maybe.
y'all.
I should
Yeah.
land y'all. He's just getting
It's Amelia Earhart. They found Amelia Earhart.
It is common in the world of comic books and even some shows to retcon, to do retroactive continuity of a storyline because they've decided to make a change. It's rare that a show will do it for the episode they just filmed days ago.
They did. They realized they forgot. They realized when they started this episode,
Yes.
oh, wait, the whole point of this season is we have to, like, defeat each of these beasts and learn something. But we forgot that we were fighting a werewolf halfway through last episode and did a ghost story instead. So that sucks. Huckleberry do something. What he did was say, actually, I saw the ghost of the werewolf, and it told me a name, and that means that it's a skinwalker in some kind of language. Don't look it up.
Don't look it up. Well, he did get a picture in that closet. And so I would have been fine if they got to Spearfinger and they're like, we have the 6 totems from the 6 adventures, including this
that
old
was the
picture.
picture.
That's
Sure,
fine.
that's a
That's
good one.
fine.
But no, that apparently is not where
No,
they're going with this.
Buck does tell us that to become a skinwalker, you have to do something terrible. You have to kill one of your own family members. So, everyone who ever shook a baby can shapeshift. That's a hell of a thing to introduce to the Mountain Monsters lore, man. You gotta think before you say stuff. They further decide that the mother of the children who they found in this ghost house, who may have killed her kids, she actually shapeshifted into the werewolf. She's a shapeshifting werewolf ghost. It's the easiest way they figured they could cover that story gap. It's a shapeshifting werewolf ghost.
When they revealed this lady was a werewolf, they kept cutting to the shot they got of her when she wasn't a wolf. And I thought that was very funny because they did it like 15 times.
And someone says Buck saw her
Yes.
in her wolf form, and then
they
it's just
show
a
it.
video of a woman.
It's incredible watching them scramble and try to cover for fucking up something last episode, and then just fucking up so much worse along the way. So they still did not solve the problem of, okay, so that was actually the monster. You've retconned it so that the thing that you encountered was the monster. Sure. Hey, did you catch it?
Nah. Investigation
Nope.
solved.
Whoops. Got a retcon next episode too then, huh? Like, you forgot the thing you were supposed to do. It didn't drop a key. You got to like rotate in your inventory to find and unlock a gate or something. You're still, unless it's that picture, you're still fucked. All right, so into this episode, at the traditional truck briefing we do every episode, we're calling it Buck's Truck and Suck. We have a surprising sucky today. It's Wild Bill taking Jeff's seat up front. You gotta figure damp seat up front. So you're like, my immediate thought was seeing him, because you just see him from like a certain camera angle. And I'm like, oh wow, I guess Jeff is out sick or something. No, the camera swivels and you see Jeff has been pushed to the back seat. Like he lost a promotion. Well, back there with Huckleberry. And all right, Buck asks Wild Bill how it feels to be promoted to the front, the seat, making it clear that therefore this is a demotion for Jeff. And Wild Bill says, feel like a big brass, important people up front, brother. So everybody understands all the way through that this is like a class thing. You have now graduated to a higher class, and Jeff has been pushed to the back. So Buck tells Wild Bill they're going after a giant bear, which, remember, Wild Bill loves to kill, but hates when other things kill them. I believe that's what was
Gotta
established.
kill him exactly the right way.
That's why Wild Bill is in the truck, is here to ruin the truck briefing, is because he is the bear
I
expert.
love this system.
That is a bit of continuity.
I do love the system. I love the system they're maybe introducing here where like whoever takes point on the hunt gets the front seat. And like, that's wonderful, because it means every time they hunt a Bigfoot pedophile, Huckleberry's up front.
Yeah.
Right?
That's why Jeff keeps pitching, let's fight Pocket Full of Ham Monster.
Then he gets the front seat, which they did with Hogzilla. Willie could be up front if they hunt 3 regular dogs.
Or a box.
That's something he's managed to catch. Buck can be up front every single time he hunts a little girl. No, I guess that means hold on. That means he would have to sit in both seats at the same time, which...
Yeah.
Okay.
Jason's like, let me cut you off there. That is how he has to get to Houston.
Buck tells us the silver giant is 9, 10, maybe 11 feet tall. Just mix up the numbers in the same sentence. And then they show the CGI model, and it has 2 buttholes for eyes and a 3rd butthole for a mouth.
Everybody stop the show right here, because speaking of upgrades and things getting promoted, they have gone to a new art style for these renderings. And this is you guys are better at describing these things than I am, because this is a muscle-bound Rob Liefeld drawing. Like, I'm surprised it does not have like the pouches and the ripped up shirt. It is just a bulging mass of muscle, an art style that I have seen on the internet before. Usually that creature has engorged genitalia, like human genitals, but it has like human muscles, like specific human pectoral muscles with a bare head. It is spectacular.
It is.
It is one of the greatest pieces of art I've ever seen. And Jamie looked up the name of the artist who draws these renderings for mountain monsters. These renderings that we have been admiring for 55
Hold on, does he do the new
episodes.
ones too, or just the old ones?
I don't know. I like to think they're similar enough. I like to think this guy just entered his Liefeld
Yeah.
era and decided to change his art style. But the guy does his art under the name Cowboy Mustache.
The hell of a thing to try to Google.
Boasts, yes, and boasts of the work he's done. He has his website showing off his portfolio of his work, and says that the way he did his process for Mountain Monsters, which I would happily watch a documentary about how these drawings get made. That it says Cowboy Mustache received very basic guidelines for each episode's creature: size, weight, color, body style, and when possible, reference images that were in line with what producers had in mind.
Cut or
A
uncut?
very high level of trust was given to Cowboy Mustache to bring these creatures to life.
Portrayed on every level by Cowboy Mustache. Let me just look that up real quick to verify all those facts. You said Cowboy Mustache, huge size, body
Yep.
style.
Yeah, ripped.
Yeah, ripped animal. Nope, still I'm getting a
Full
million
penetration.
results here. So, what's very funny about this, aside from everything, is that Cowboy Mustache, apparently, if this is him doing the new ones too, decided that the coolest thing for a bear to have would be teeth everywhere in the mouth. So he even puts teeth where the jaw is supposed to close.
Yeah.
Effectively turning this bear into a lamprey or just a real high-risk glory hole.
It is.
Just a...
Liefeld is the greatest way to describe it because it is like low skill, really overworked. So it's like not quite a bear, but then they thought, I can fix this by adding details. So there's just spikes and teeth and extra muscles, and I love it.
in a way that makes its anatomy impossible. It couldn't chew or eat anything. It can't bite you, or it would tear its
explode
own
into
jaw.
a puddle. Yeah. You would just be like...
And they start to describe it, and Buck says, as though this is all terrifying, remember, it's been known to stand upright and run on its hind legs.
I think what I
like
loved
all bears
best,
can do.
Yes.
When they want to run much slower than they normally do.
So
When they're not bothered to
When
try
they
to
want
catch
to be
you, that's-
adorable.
he
Their little bear
describes this
waddle?
thing as an 11-foot tall bear running on its hind legs. And Wild Bill hears that and says, I've never heard of a bear having a silver streak. Like, of all the details,
That's the weird part.
he's like,
That's
I
the
don't know
weird
about
part.
That's a weird haircut for a bear. The rocket bear, the triple-sized rocket bear you're describing.
I went and looked it up, and there are actually several kinds of bears that have silver streaks on them.
Incredible.
Hey, guys, also, this is just the Lightning Man.
Yeah.
Buck forgot that he described the Lightning Man as being black with a silver streak down
Yeah,
its
with
back.
the gremlin
he
stripe,
just
of course.
recycled. He forgot. Yeah, he forgot that he had already used that.
I looked up the weight of a hot dog because I wanted to get these stats exactly right. They, later in the show, say that he's 1,000 pounds. So I did the math on this. So this creature is one shack on 4-foot stilts after setting the world record for eating hot dogs 70 times.
It paints an image in your head. You've got it.
Everyone can
You've
picture
got
that.
it now. And now, of course, picture him running on those stilts in a very adorable, waddling kind of way. And you've got this terrifying monster. So Wild Bill says he's going to be jotting down notes on this hunt, and he even, to quote him, done a quick sketch of him. I don't know if sketch is just a flub, or if that's like a squatch sketch. I'm not sure.
Ooh, if so, that's really
that's
good.
cute.
I don't want to take credit away from the master here. And he shows them what he's done, which is a little drawing of a bear with abs and an eye patch. And it's funny. Legitimately, this is his joke. He made the joke of like, here's my stupid drawing. It made me laugh legitimately. He earned that solid laugh of sick abs and an eye patch. Like, yeah, that's really funny. But then he wrote words on it, and those words are, as near as I can tell, Silver Giant Boov, Cohz, Cohz. He's just a malfunctioning AI. Like, none of those words are even close to meaning anything.
Oh, no, I think I can solve that. I think Coos was supposed to be county, and the N is sideways because he's going to go down the side of the page, and then he just gave up. He's like, I don't need to do this.
So Boof was supposed to be Boone, and then Boone was him giving up on county.
Yeah,
that
he
actually
just
makes sense.
Misjudged the horizontal space.
Silver Giant Boof Ghost, of course. Solve the mystery. So Buck has the audacity to say, now, let's not forget what the Waya woman said to Huckleberry last episode. Like they forgot last episode, right. Which they did. And then, so he reiterates that since, Huckleberry reiterates that since Buck is Cherokee and Huckleberry himself is Shawnee, Huckleberry went down to his tribal elders to talk to them. He's got fucking tribal elders now. He's not just Indian. He's so Indian, he's in touch with his tribal fucking elders.
Living on a reservation,
yeah,
I guess.
Apparently.
First time that's come up.
He goes home to a teepee. Like, he just walks into a teepee and takes his overalls off.
It's
goes
crazy
into the sweat lodge.
They didn't help, though. And, like, this could be kind of a true story. Like, I could see Huckleberry going to reservation and then being really annoyed that he's there asking about skinwalkers. I could see them saying, like, we're not going to tell you about the skinwalkers.
Look, no part of you has ever been Indian. Also, we're not skinwalkers. That's not like a thing. But they refuse to help out of fear. So those cowardly Indians have a strong showing in this episode. Bold stance for them to take right away. All right, so they need to go meet their first witness. It is Jody, who they say is his occupation is an extreme outdoorsman.
Buck has a good explanation for that. He says that means any opportunity to be in the outdoors, he's there. So
all right.
He's just outside a lot. Like, you don't even get it. Like, you know how you are inside sometimes? He does that as little as possible.
Yeah. I get seasonal depression, so I guess I'm an extreme outdoorsman. Like, I have to go sit outside a lot.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty extreme.
Yeah, that's extreme. So as they interview him, Wild Bill takes out his little notepad and he puts on some little glasses, just like Jeff, and he does a testimonial about how there's no one in this world he admires more than Jeffro. He puts on the little glasses, he starts writing on the notepad, and he reiterates, Jeffro, he's the coolest one on the team. And then he goes to stand by Jeff and makes like really sissy imitations of whatever Jeff is doing. It's not hazing if you do it for like 10 straight years. He's on the team now.
And again, this is Wild Bill normally not part of the witness interviews. And every time he is part of the witness interview, he immediately demonstrates why he normally is not part of the witness interview.
They're getting no information. They're doing this bit the whole time. We have no idea what Jody is doing there, what he saw.
Jody's talking the whole time, and they're like talking over him. And you hear his story in the background as they're just like, no, it's Bit City over here. Get with it, Jody. We're clowning on Jeff. So Jody's story, what we can make out of it, says he was on his way to the fishing hole when he saw what he assumes was a black bear. Then he made a noise. He stepped on a stick, and that scared it so bad that it hopped up on its hind legs to reveal that it was 10 feet tall and sprinted away on its hind legs, which is the funniest fucking thing he could have said. He scared it with a twig snap, and it popped upright and went whoop, 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 and just ran right away.
Also, in the truck briefing, Buck said this creature is between 9 and 11 feet tall. After this interview, it's exactly 9 feet tall. So it is at the absolute lowest range of the sizes that it could be. And also, it's a pussy. That's the only thing they know about it, is that this guy heard it and that he startled it and it ran away as fast as it could.
It's literally an old Looney Tunes bit where like there's a tough looking animal and then it hears a noise and it stands up and minces away like a housewife. Like, that's an old cartoon bit that you're doing. You've done this before. You did this with Hogzilla. It's never better when the animal like stands up and is like, oh no, I'm gonna run away on my little legs. Like, no,
that pedaled away on a little unicycle. I've been scared to come out here ever since.
So Wild Bill pulls out a prop magnifying glass. He's going to have a lot of fun with this episode. And he starts looking around for bear poop, bear scat. He declares himself a scatologist. And he does indeed find a little bit of bear scat and some tracks.
Just look that up. Cowboy Mustache, scatologist. I'm getting some very strange results, guys.
He has a really prolific internet presence, this guy. What's incredible is throughout this whole bit, for the first time in the history of the show, Wild Bill is manifesting cartoon sound effects for his every action. Like, he drops a pencil and it's like, whoop! He whips out the magnifying glass. He's getting... I don't even think they added this in post. I think he somehow learned how to do that.
Billy ventriloquism.
Also, the amount of comedy bits Wild Bill brought to this episode was starting to make me worried that he knew they didn't have a lot.
Yeah, he knows something we don't
here to work with. That the outline of this episode was just like one napkin from Carl's Jr. that had like...
What if the episodes where they take point, they get to write them? So this is just Wild Bill's time to shine. It's like, it's all bits. Just front to back bits. I'm gonna put fucking cartoon sound effects in there, and they're like, no, you can't. This will ruin the vibe of the show completely. It's like a horror reality show, and you're gonna put Acme cartoon anvil sounds as you pratfall through the woods.
He's doing this while Jody's there. Like, he's like, I'm a professor of poop, and he's like, he found a little leaf with some poop on it. Like, he is really embarrassing them in front of their witness, I would say. I mean, I don't know this. I know Jody's an extreme outdoorsman. He's seen some poop before, but I think this is embarrassing.
So they finally decide that they can't be sure this one was the silver giant. It could be another 10-foot tall bear that runs on its hind legs when it gets scared. So they have to come back at night.
Well, now hold on. They're going to introduce an element here that's going to continue through the rest of the episode where they say, well, you know, they talk about it like it's a bear, but that sounds like it could be a Bigfoot. And it is never going to be clear what they think adding a Bigfoot to this scenario, like why it can't just be giant bear monster, because for the rest of the episode, they're constantly going to be, well, you know, that could be a Bigfoot out here too. And the only thing I can think of is that freaking their equivalent of SEO, that Bigfoot is what puts butts in the seats. So no matter what else they come up with all of this lore, they've got skinwalkers, they've got giant bears, they're going to have some like mystical family drama later, but gotta sprinkle some Bigfoot in there.
I think it's contractually obligated. I think in signing the contracts, it did say we're gonna have us a Bigfoot show. And as they get farther away from that, they grow frustrated and be like, fine, we'll just say the word Bigfoot here. Yeah, there was
because sometimes it's literally just that. There will be one sentence where somebody would be like, well, you know, there could also be a Bigfoot here.
But they always throw that sentence in.
Always.
They got to say it. They're contractually obligated.
Weird. It's one of the funnier ticks of this show as it goes on is the how much they clearly are not excited by Bigfoot at all creatively. They don't find Bigfoot interesting. They've run out of ways that a Bigfoot can't attack. It can throw a log at you. It can shoulder tackle you into a pond. Sure. It can grab you, and that's just about it.
It can open a door on you. Funniest one.
It can molest you.
It can ruin your innocence. There's all sorts of ways. I find it funny that the more they do this like, yeah, there might be a fucking Bigfoot here, whatever. Like, they get annoyed at it. It paints the picture that there are just 10,000 big feet around them at all times, and they're like, I'm just pissed off. Frankly, I'm pissed off that they're big. They're like mosquitoes just swarming them, and they're like, God damn it. Big feets are really out today. They're really biting today.
Last season, there's that one point they were just walking from their truck to the building they were trying to get to, and they heard, I think that's a Bigfoot.
I feel like it was 5 or 6 episodes ago where a Bigfoot threw a tree at them, and he wasn't a part of the episode. It was just like suddenly a tree came, like, God damn, Bigfoot threw a tree at us, and they went back to what they were doing.
It was totally incidental to what they were doing.
It's just like a really quick celebrity cameo in a sitcom. just leans into camera, gives a little wave, and then walks out.
Richard
People are
comes
like, there he is.
Little Richard throws a tree at the Family Matters family.
Exactly.
Also, to add this to the drinking game, they have established during the day that what they wanted to come back and look for was for sign and scat. They specifically, that's the whole thing. So when better to do that than the middle of
Night
the night?
investigation.
Is this part of the drinking game where they say this is the most dangerous hunt we've ever been on? Because they say that about the coward bear. That might be a Bigfoot.
Yeah, all they know is that it's really easily scared at this point. And that it might be a Bigfoot, might be a bear. That whatever it is, they're sure that it's over 1,000 pounds. Buck can be sure of that much based on absolutely nothing. They go into the woods, they find claw marks in a stump, and Wild Bill is like freaking out going, look how wide this paw must be. But the claw marks are so fucking funny. They're so they're barely scratched in there. They're perfectly straight. It's so clearly just the tip of somebody's knife. But then they've dug into it with absolutely no force, so it paints this image of like this giant bear just kind of mincing at a log. Like, yeah. Ooh.
It's like its girlfriend, after they broke up, like keyed his log.
Just such this giant. We're after the giant pussy bear of Boone County. So Buck says he has a feeling they're not alone in these woods. Like, yeah, there's like 800 pesky big feet in here. We've established that. They hear a metallic clank and then a bear grunt. And I was so excited for a second. I was so excited we were going to do Robo Bear, right?
Oh,
I'm not
God,
the only
that'd
one
be
that
sweet.
thought that.
We were all assuming when they heard a metallic.
Yeah.
It's
Or at least like doing the Scooby-Doo thing where like, oh, it's a monster, but no, somebody built an elaborate machine.
No,
to
it's a
scare
Cherokee
people away
robot
from-
bear. That's what I was hoping for. My notes say Cherokee robot bear ?
or even just bear with two lead pipes that is banging
Yeah, I'd be
together.
fine with
Like,
that.
come get some of this.
Or I don't know, rebar hands. Like I'm fine. I'm fine with whatever.
No, what they find, they go after it and they find a metal silo out there and they split up for the first pincer movement of the evening. Inside they find Little Richard. No, it's another celebrity cameo though.
Hell yeah.
It's another celebrity cameo. We haven't seen him in forever. It's the tourist gift shop bones. That's right. They haven't used the old-timey tourist gift shop bones in forever. With the
It was nice
it's
to see
complete
them
with
back.
like the bleached ancient like steer skull that you'd find mounted on a Cadillac in Texas somewhere. I really missed these guys. It's good to see them back. I haven't seen the Pargin planks in forever.
I think those got used as firewood.
Oh,
or
I'm
they
hoping
got
they come
stolen
back.
something. But they are so freaked out by the sight of bones in the woods, which if you've ever been in the woods before, there's bones out there. But it's like Huckleberry says, there's cattle bones, there's deer bones, there's possum bones. Hell, if I dug long enough, I could probably find the bones of a leprechaun.
That's when you know you got a lot of bones. That's how you measure bones in country talk.
Trying to sell how terrifying this animal is and struggling mightily. This thing probably murdered a leprechaun if you think about it.
Just statistically, one of those bones has to be leprechaun bones. I think that's what he was going for. It's just like there's so many bones that like there's gonna be some leprechauns caught up in that massacre. That's just how it works. I was surprised that they come up on the bones and they realize this is the lair of the very deadly creature that killed even the leprechaun, and they start making so much noise. Then they climb into the tube, and no one seems to notice that they're like too big for the tube. Like this is a bad lair for a 1,000-pound, 11-foot tall creature. I don't know. Just a couple of small points, I guess. That
The giant bear that killed the leprechaun from the hit film Leprechaun, of course.
yeah.
He's like, bears don't do this, dude. What part of it?
Just killing
Killing a leprechaun.
And Buck's like, well, a silver giant ain't a normal bear. It's like, okay, but which part of is it? Because again, if it was just a cow, you could say, well, bears don't normally hunt stuff this big, but you made a point of, well, there's a lot of little animals in there too. There's some possum in here. It's like, oh, okay. Hey, you know what would have been scarier? You know in the last episode how 7 people were killed by the Wyoming, including like 5 children? There's some human bones in there. Buy a Halloween people skeleton. Find a person's skull. Don't tell me you're above that or that you're not allowed to do it. You do it all the time now.
I just picture some intern coming back with one of those 12-foot Halloween skeletons and then being like, damn it, we're going to have to use it. We're gonna have to use it. She killed a really big guy. She killed the biggest man in the country.
Do you think they do that, or do you think maybe they'd say that Bigfoot can shrink us? We've shrunk. The Bigfoot has shrink powers. I feel like that's...
this is advanced.
There's a non-zero chance that's the way they go.
We're overestimating their improv abilities. Huckleberry would just look at it and be like, people used to be bigger. That would be the end of it.
There's a moment here where he says, in the words of Trapper, whatever did this is a mountain monster. Did he ever say that, though?
One time.
I feel like...
Yeah, he said that one time, and we were all like, that's really weird that he said that.
Okay.
Like, it felt really strange that he paused to say, because it wasn't in the first episode. It had been like several episodes in. We're like, why is he branding the show now? And then he never did it again. And now we're doing it in his honor. The one time he fucked up and was like, whoa, let's not do that again. That felt weird. I'm sorry, that really ground everything to a... Let's not make that my catchphrase if I unfortunately pass away. So they've found some bones. That's it for the night. It's time to get the fuck out of here. Go ahead and take a drink. We did one thing. We got to get the fuck out of here. You'd think, oh, we found its lair. Let's do a little... Nope. I'm scared of bones. We got to go. Scared of skeletons.
They do leave in fear, right? It's not like they're saying, cool, let's call it a night. They're like, we got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. I'm scared of skeletons. Those could come to life. One of them's a leprechaun. I'm not fighting a leprechaun skeleton. We got to get the fuck out of here. So next day at Wild Bill and Willie's Crackhead Trap Shack, Willie knows it's going to be super strong. So you guessed it.
You put a hatch on the place it lives. That it's already a metal structure.
And a crude little box around the rest of it. And get this. Here's how it's different. When it pulls the bait, it triggers a little door to fall. God, he's so checked out. He's so checked.
Yeah.
He must be pursuing like a different passion outside of the show.
Next week's trap is a little bit that somebody sat him down and said, you've got to give us something. You got to give us something.
I know
else.
You're putting all your creative energy into knitting now, but like we need you to come back to the show like mentally. That's it for. I didn't write out anything down. Like this whole thing was like 2 minutes. Like they just
did a little illegal.
They did a
logging.
little bit of chainsaw goofing, but not much. They didn't. Wild Bill did not bring a bit to the section, or if he did, they decided it could not be aired.
He just really delved into the scatology, just wolfing down fistful after fistful of shit, and they're like, Bill. This is really, it's going beyond comedy. It's becoming something else.
It's funny you mentioned poop, because my notes do have something about poop in the next scene.
Yes, so we're going to the day hunt. And Buck says they figure this creature is nocturnal, so they're going to come out here during the day in the hopes that they can find it sleeping. Holy shit. Every time Jason leaves like a little production memo and it drifts through time on a rainbow snowflake and they catch it on their tongues and then their faces light up and they have that idea. Jason, you've been leaving this note for them since episode 1.
Come to its house when it's fast asleep and just stab it. Yeah. Just stab it in its bed.
They've never ever even thought about trying it. They started doing day investigations and have accidentally encountered it, but they've never come back and said, okay, we know it's nocturnal. Let's find it while it's asleep and just blow the shit out of it. It's incredible. It must have been a 20-foot wide snowflake. It must have crushed a cameraman or something. Just
Now, a cool little bit of continuity here is immediately Buck finds some hickory nuts on the ground and says, we're onto something because we know that's a food source.
Right.
Because remember, minutes ago when they were in its lair, what did they find in there?
Hickory nuts.
Big pile of hickory nuts. That's why Huckleberry said 2 minutes ago, any son of a bitch that eats this many hickory nuts, that's a damn mouth monster, to quote Trapper.
So remember the hickory nuts, of course. Buck soon finds scat, and they make Jeff collect it for Wild Bill. So I guess that stopped being a bit that he's doing. Like, we forgot that it was a bit, so now he's a legit expert. They're like, well, we got to get it back to him.
But they are going to make a meal out of this.
Almost literally.
This event. Yeah, this goes on for, 45, 50 minutes. as they do a whole thing where they try to prank Jeff by getting him to wrap the turds in a handkerchief and then convince him that the ceremonial way to carry feces is to put it on your head under your hat. And then he does it. And then it literally says, "You guys tricked me."
Oh, jeez. And then he takes it off. So what was achieved with this bit?
And then he just shoves it in his front pants pocket, which, by the way, is going to become very funny later because he keeps something else in there. But we'll get to it.
So they move on from a very long and terrible bit, and they stumble across the old silo again. Never thought they'd actually be able to find that thing again. They hear a bang coming from it, and they approach carefully to find it's empty. Obviously. It would be really funny if one of these days they came there and found just a sleeping cryptid. We're just like, oh, fuck, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do now. This isn't supposed to happen. They're inside just like, oh, look at all the nothing. Look at all the nothing we found when they hear another bang outside. And now Buck says, hold on, I see somebody. There's somebody outside wearing a black cloak. But he vanished abruptly into the daytime forest. So, I guess not like Batman.
Yeah, I guess like a Batman.
Squirrel Man? I don't know. Like, do bats eat hickory nuts? What are we establishing?
Batman loves hickory nuts.
He loves us. They're full of protein. They're a good snack. Now, Jeff adds, very hilariously, that he just glided off without any body movement. So like those Russian dancers.
Just smoothly went through the woods. Now that they have established that the animals they were hunting were just a red herring, that once they've got out here, they've been observed by a third party. I normally don't like to ambush my co-hosts with things that we've not discussed off air prior to the show. But now that we are recording, I want all three of us to make a pledge that if it turns out this is a sixth rival Bigfoot hunting team that's obsessed with the Ames team, that we'll just cancel the podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a deal.
I don't think I can do a sixth rogue team. I don't think physically we're up to it.
However, I would like to add an addendum, if I might. If we find out they made a seventh rogue team, we come right back.
We're back
because that
in.
comes back around again.
Yeah, you're right.
That's funny again. I'm sorry, I'm back in if they have a seventh one. Jeff improvs that he didn't just disappear into the night like Batman. He glided away like a graceful Russian dancer. You're like, oh, he did the little foot movement thing.
I took this as levitating. I think Buck took it that way too, because Buck's like, oh shit, he's floating? We got to get the hell out of here.
Okay, look, the issue is if you're in the woods and it's raining, and it is raining most of the time they're out here, and you saw a guy in a cloak, that's just a guy in a rain jacket out there in the woods, which is, by the way, right next to the highway. There's people here. People live out here. There's farms and everything. It would be routine to run into a guy in a cloak. They have to have a reason to freak out at the sight of this guy because they didn't remember to have the guy do anything bad to anyone. They didn't do it where like they found their witness out there dead and then they saw the guy in the cloak. So they have to add this thing. But I thought when they said, well, he just floated off through the woods, I thought they knew in advance that they knew how to do that effect later.
Yeah, you would think so.
That they were setting up like, okay, yeah, we've got like a little cart we pull them on. It kind of looks, so we're gonna foreshadow that. Did they actually have a way to make a guy float through the woods? We'll see. We're watching it with you. Maybe they may have. You don't know. Don't say they didn't.
Can I also add that this was basically, my intro is basically a Brockway fact. I was a very young goth in a very rural town, and I did go out into the woods and play around with black cloaks, and apparently hillbillies were out there willing to shoot me in terror because it's the scariest thing they've ever seen. Which, if you had told me as a 13-year-old goth kid, I would have been so flattered.
you would have
I
loved
been
that.
like, oh my God, really? Are you? Oh my God, thank you so much, you guys. That's all I want. They're terrified of 13-year-old goths in the woods. I can wish I could go back in time and tell myself that someday this will be justified.
By the way, when you said that earlier, none of us thought you were just making
good.
that up. That was
Sounded exactly right to me too. Yeah.
So I love this format that we start off hunting a monster and then we get distracted halfway through by a ghost story. And I was like, you know what would be legitimately kind of a cool turn here for this season is if they took this and were like, wait a minute, these strange people keep showing up every time with like supernatural abilities. Every time we find a creature, what if they were all skinwalkers? But that's fucking way above. That would be super cool. That's way above whatever they're going to do with this.
because it was like episode 4 of this show where they had speculated that they had a creature called the werewolf of whatever, and then it kept not transforming into a person. And so we kept saying, well, one of their witnesses is going to turn out to be the creature, and they just didn't. It never occurred to them, because in their world, a werewolf was just a slightly above average wolf. I don't even remember. It was very early in the show. Because we thought, well, that would be a fun little twist. Like the weird guy who's like giving you all the lore. And then it turns out they talk to another person like, there's no such man who lives around here.
No wonder he knew I had so much ham in my pocket. Suspicious.
We check back in with the Trap Shack again out of this. Again, it's just they have absolutely nothing. Like, I don't know. Were they both sick today? Like, the bit lasts... this one even shorter. It lasts like 30 seconds. They're
You're
just
right.
like,
My notes
it's a box.
say,
Get the fuck out.
Next day box building. That is it. And I'm not doing a bit.
They have...
Nothing happened.
Literally, the only clip they kept is Wild Bill was climbing up to get a log, and Willie slaps him on the butt.
Right.
And says, get up there. And that's a thing men do. That's fine. It's not... but it's like, that's the only clip that they thought was interesting enough to include. There's just nothing.
They're cutting the whole trap segment out. No wonder Willie's checking out. So now we're doing the day hunt. The day hunt is the new thing we're doing. And now that they're totally distracted from the bear successfully, they go to ask another witness, this guy called Jason, about the guy in the cloak. So now they're just fully off that hunt. And they're like, second time in a row, let's just go fight the ghost. I don't want to fight this monster anymore.
So a couple of things to note here. One, Jason, extremely common name. I graduated with 7 Jasons in my class. But they did pick a guy who absolutely looks like a sleazy serial killer. He's like this very moist, twitchy, like this would be in like a serial killer drama. This would be the guy they interview, and it's like a red herring because he looks too much like a creep, and then it's going to turn out it's like, no, this is just to throw you off. The other thing is, they filmed their approach to where they're going to meet the guy, obviously standing in the middle of nowhere, and they show the team walking up a gravel road, and they are struggling mightily. Like it's a little bit of an incline, and they're laboring to get up there. So they make this point of that Jason is terrified to be out there because of what he's seen, and he's like twitchy, and then and he actually says, he's like, my heart is pumping just being out here in this spot. And Huckleberry's like, hey, we've got your back. And it's like, no, I just watched you almost have a heart attack walking up this road to talk to me. I don't think you actually have my back if we're attacked by a skinwalker or whichever of the 4 creatures are, of the 4 entities
or
are
just
out
a
here.
13-year-old goth. I don't think you have my back on that.
He's a veteran of over a dozen scaredy runaways. Real slow scaredy runaways.
Yeah, I wrote down Jason is absolutely the werebear. Like, this is the witness.
He's the werebear. The first thing he mentions is this moistness, too. He's like, hey, this isn't the humidity. This is nervous sweats.
He's
like,
sweating.
We weren't going to mention how wet you are. Like,
wearing a purple sweater. Like, oh, I swear that bear was purple. Did you guys see that purple bear? Buck says Jason is an avid outdoorsman who knows the woods like the back of his hand. Again, like a bear would.
Yeah.
Much like a bear would. Buck also reiterates in this point that he saw that black cloaked figure, and he says again, well, that's the creepiest thing I ever saw. And that's the second episode in a row he's said that about something. I love his new, like, that's how I'm going to do it from now on as a horror writer. Whenever I write something scary, I'm just going to write the words, and that's the creepiest thing you ever saw at the end.
Ooh,
and let the reader
person.
be like,
Yeah, that's powerful. Yeah.
Wow. He's right.
This adds to the lore of the cloaked figure, because this guy says, Jason says that he kind of glided away. No shoulder movement, no head
shoulder
bob.
movement.
And then Huckleberry comes on later to do a testimonial camera, and he explains, if you haven't done any walking personally, when you walk, you do get that head bob, and you do get that shoulder movement. So, like, it all adds up.
It all checks out.
Now, granted, this is 2019, well into the era of those little wheeled hoverboard carts that people would use. You just lean forward and you just roll. Like, you could easily have been on some sort of a wheeled thing. But again, here's where we needed this witness to say, then I got back to my house and my children were dead. And
the roller skates were missing.
And blood was smeared on the wall. Yeah, like because so far they are terrified of this guy, and it's like, okay, but what crime has he committed? Is because
too smooth.
Hey, I'm gonna say it right now. If smooth movement is a crime, put the cuffs on. Send me right to jail. I confess. Not even going to ask for a lawyer. Put me away.
Too smooth.
Jason glides.
Buck wraps this up. Buck sums this all up. He knows how to sell this scene and why you're so frightened of this. He says, I'm still out here trying to wrap my mind around how somebody could be out in these woods wearing a cloak.
That's the weird part.
He ends it there. He doesn't even focus on the gliding.
It's
He's just
not
like,
cloak season.
It's
It's after
here.
Labor Day. He just can't picture the kind of low-born imbecile who would wear a cloak after Labor Day.
The guy's got a video recording. He says, I pulled out my phone and I thought, okay, here's where they've done their smooth walking effect. So we're going to see this and going to be like, you know what? That guy is too smooth. I would have shot him dead if I were there, walking that smoothly across this rough terrain. But no, that's not what we get.
What he's recorded is mostly the noise. He heard some noise in the woods, and he plays it for them. When we hear, they're like canned bear sound effect growls, and then some tree knocks. And Huckleberry says, well, that's a Bigfoot. So, it's a Bigfoot werebear skinwalker?
No other thing.
Is that what we're doing?
No other.
Is
thing
that really? Is that what we're facing off against these days?
Okay. It's a teen wolf on a skateboard, which is kind of how they travel already, and they just mistook the wolf form of the teen wolf for the shack.
It could
bear.
be a werebear named Jason trying to frame a Bigfoot.
That would explain it too.
I know we are all joking about, is this skinwalker, Bigfoot, werebear, like which thing is it? Are they saying it's all of them? They're never going to come to a conclusion on that. Not just in this episode, ever. Because keep in mind, when the trap team is building their trap, they're even doing these lines like, well, we don't know if we've got a large bear out here or a Bigfoot, but, we're going to catch it, whatever it is. It's like, no, your job is specifically to investigate and find out what it is. Remember back when you built the traps specifically for that thing you were after? Like with the Mothman, you put a big light bulb in it because it's a moth.
And then the electric force field to block his teleportation.
Of course
I remember. It was brilliant.
Yeah. And that was in episode 5.
That was when Willie still had
now it's like,
a zest for life, though.
Right. Because now it's like, well, big bots will catch pretty much anything you think about
If
it.
this thing there's a 1 in 3 chance this is a shapeshifter, and the box has like gaps that a full-grown man can squeeze through. Like if it's not an 11-foot bear, it's just going to leave through the holes.
They're even going to have a line in a moment where Huckleberry's going to be like, well, man in the cloak, if he gets in there, he'll be trapped in there too. It's like, no, he's a human with a human brain. He would know how to open it up. He would leave.
Or
he's not an animal.
Or he would be the dark commander of the night forces. We don't know who this guy is. You might just have given him a free meal.
You don't have enough information to put a trap out of here yet. You're not that far in your process. It's like, nah, we don't have to build a box.
He actually says it could be an 11-foot werebear, a Bigfoot of unknown size, or just a guy.
Just a guy.
Either way, we're going to catch him. Don't put just a guy in with this. Here's the thing. You're probably allowed to catch the others. You can't catch a guy. Like, you specifically are not allowed to do that. We have words for that.
Yeah, 2 of those things are really illegal to just put in a box, depending on the time of year.
But when we get to the trap unveiling where the team comes in, pretends to be, which by the way is the best acting they do in the show, when they see the sad box, like, wow, it's the 37th box made out of logs jammed in the mud.
Phenomenal.
Is they know they don't have enough there, so they have prepared the poop comedy bit to fill time, and it just doesn't go anywhere.
So Jeff brings his little present of bear scat. Wild Bill loves it, and Willie says, I've never seen 2 people happier playing in bleep in all my life. And then he makes, as he says this, he makes hard eye contact with Huckleberry.
I think you're right, Jason. I think he said come.
And he knows something about Huckleberry. He's like, you remember, I was there. I saw you. Buck says Bill is happier than a possum on a gut wagon, which is we haven't had a good old-timey saying in a long time. Willie then shows him how his trap works. He says the doors are spring-loaded, so that when he pulls the chain, they will slam shut with incredible force. And then he goes and he pulls the chain, and they actually show that the chain is just connected through the roof to the doors, so the chain and they just drift shut like a refrigerator door would. And he's just like, he's standing in there like defying them to say anything. Like, what? What? Say something. Let's fight. Fighting something. Fighting is feeling something. I don't know.
It's clear there's actually somebody off camera pulling them closed with a rope, just very gently, because there's no mechanism for this trap whatsoever. He did not build that part.
He does mention the springs twice, suspiciously an extra time.
Hey, you know what you can hear when they activate? Giant metal springs. They do make a noise. A very distinct one that is missing. Also, they would close. They don't drift shut and then bang back out and like just wobble. He doesn't give a shit. He wants to die. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. He can re-find his passion in Jamaica or something. I don't know. He needs to go somewhere.
Yeah, he'll get his groove back.
He'll go get his groove back. So now it's time to bait the trap. And if you, like me, remembered, the hickory nuts, fuck you. Because what they brought is a whole big thing of brisket, like straight from Costco.
Oh,
Not
beautiful.
Just
beautiful Costco
just bought
brisket.
a brisket from Costco.
Yeah, we all recognize the Costco brisket.
Buck says the phrase, now we found out this creature's been eating beef like crazy. And also, which creature? The Bigfoot?
The guy.
Bear? That guy?
He beat the 72-ounce steak challenge down at Big Jim's Steakery. We know this brisket is going to get him in there. And by God, they're right. He loves a challenge. So he baits the trap, and Buck says, I don't care if we get a bear, a Bigfoot, or a man in a black cloak, so long as we get a critter. Again,
Not how hunting
works, specifically not how this quest works. Remember, only one of those creatures will unlock what you need to hunt down Spearfinger on this quest. So,
That's a good point.
You really should care on, like, several levels.
The police will care, too. As I said, I think if that's not a Bigfoot, you're in a lot of trouble.
Again, if it's a 13-year-old goth, which it could be, yeah, this isn't going to go well for you. So it's time for the night hunt. And Buck says this hunt's a little bit different than what we're used to. And what he means is they know less. Usually do. Yes.
That's true.
So-
Do they, though? They know 2 locations and they have a trap. I mean, that's usually what they know.
But they don't even know what they're hunting. They don't even have a monster.
It's also
in
not
mind.
that unusual.
I do think they've done that before.
Okay, but again, let's rewind to Rogue Team. Whichever one gave them the monster guidebook on the silver platter that had all of the information about
3,
the
I
monsters
think?
and the
Yeah, that's
list in the order in which they're to pursue them. And imagine them observing this hunt. Where Buck literally says the words, "Yeah, now it's unusual because we don't even know what monster we're out here hunting. So we'll just catch whatever." It's like, no, you are here to unlock the complex 6-sided mystery that will allow you to summon Spearfinger. Remember, silver platter. When we gave it to you on silver platter, we don't mean figuratively. We went out and bought a silver platter because we were afraid you wouldn't get it.
Okay, I really like the idea of them going to Spearfinger with the artifacts. And it's like some picture of a lady they found in a closet, some 13-year-old goth prisoner. We don't know the next 4, but yeah. And Spearfinger's just like, dude, what are these things you're bringing?
No, they were
Star
each
Wars
of them was
Lego
an
set.
emerald.
We found your sacred Star Wars Lego set. Like, what are you? None of this
It was
is right.
6 cryptid emeralds. I don't know what these are. Like, what am I? Is that a child? Did you bring me? Don't bring me a child. For fuck's sake, man. I got enough heat on me. A guy named my name is Spearfinger, and you brought me a child. Like, people are
Yeah, cut. We
people are
can't
gonna
use any of
fix
this. Shut down the Mountain Monsters show.
so. So they're going to handle things a little differently here. They're going to split up, okay, follow me, into 2 groups and go different directions. I think
You're not
this is
making any
called the Boone County Double Team, what they're going to do here. Buck, Huckleberry, and Jeff, I think, are going to the silo, and they're going to try tree knocks, while Willie and Wild Bill go to where that guy saw the cloaked figure. And they're also going to try tree knocks. But you saw the cloaked figure at the silo. Like, you guys saw him at the silo. So really, you only have the one point. You should just be at the silo. Like, I assume the trap's supposed to be at the silo.
It's where it
I don't
lives.
know
It's where
what
it
we're
eats.
doing.
It's where it puts piles of bones.
Like, they already narrowed it down to one point, and they didn't realize it.
They've established that it's nocturnal, so it will be asleep in its den at night. That's what nocturnal means.
So out at where Jason saw the cloaked figure, Wild Bill is doing like a bear call for a bear that's in the Three Stooges, for like a Mo bear. It's a good little bit. And Willie says something that I found really inexplicable as they're walking out to their station. He says, "Welp, you can definitely tell we're in Boone County." Because all the Boones? Like, what does that mean? They start tree knocking. Wild Bill says he's an expert, and then, like, he mimes hitting a tree with a stick. He says, "Swarp." Like, that's the noise a stick would make.
Swarp.
Then he mimes carefully listening, and then he follows that all up with absolutely nothing and just staring at the camera for, like, 30 seconds.
Yes.
Incredible work. Incredible work. And this prefaces a really extended bit where Wild Bill goes to tree knock, and every time he grabs a stick, it's a dead stick, and it disintegrates when he hits the tree. And you're thinking, okay, 1 is enough. 2 is more than enough. 3, rule of 3s, I guess. 8. 8 is how many times?
The comedy rule of 8.
Comedy rule of 8s. And all the while, they're worried you don't get what's funny about a man hitting a tree with a disintegrating branch 8 times. So it cuts back to Buck, who is carefully explaining what he's doing every single time.
It's incredible.
It's the most I've seen a joke ruined in my life.
They're not in the same location. It's literally Buck saying, like, now I bet I know what Wild Bill's doing right now. Like, he's probably trying to hit the... So did they discuss this in the production meeting in advance? Did they have a meeting in the truck that's like a crisis meeting saying, look, we've got to fill 26 more minutes on this camera. We have nothing.
3 monsters, and they got 7 seconds of usable footage in this episode.
I've never.
This goes on for a long time. And again, if you want to imagine the various rogue teams who are frustration fetish perverts watching these guys just doing their tree, which, by the way, using the tree knocks to try to drive the creature toward the trap. How did they establish that the tree knocks would do it? The only thing they've ever heard is that for some reason it bangs on its metal silo that it lives in, but also, is it the guy doing that? Is it the Bigfoot? Is it the silver giant? Are they multiple different creatures? They didn't establish any of that.
They're also both doing tree knocks not that far from each other in the woods. So, like, the only scenario that could happen here is one of the teams does a tree knock, the other team hears it and does a tree knock back. And now they're just communicating to each other with sticks.
Also, the plan is to drive it into the center. So that something about the tree knock is supposed to get the Bigfoot terrified. Which is how the Bigfoot calls their friends. But I guess they need a tree knock in a way that scares say, hey, dickhead, run away from me, I'm evil, kind of tree knock. I don't understand how any of this would work, even in their fiction.
Not to beat a dead horse, but they make up the show.
Yeah, it's a good point.
They can have a thing where they say, hey, this silver giant, we think it's got a rivalry with these big feet. We think they're fighting over territory. So if we do knocks, it will hear that as Bigfoot sign and will move the other way.
Right.
So if we do knocks in each direction, it's your own
the Shawnee
show.
Elders.
You can tell the witnesses to say anything you want. You don't have to come out here like, boy, we don't know what's going on. You gave the witnesses their bits. Just make up a thing. You are unfettered by any limitation other than budget. You can say anything.
Do you know what that implies? It implies that every other episode of the show was real.
Somewhere back in time, there's like Jeff is like looking down at the ground, and there's just like a giant shadow growing bigger every single second, and he realizes finally it's the shape of a snowflake, and it's just come to kill them all. Just if that note ever hits that this is your show and you could just make up something, it's gonna kill them all. It's gonna wipe them completely off the map.
I'm worried that the Bigfoot, when it hears all these giggling men doing comedy bits, is going to know that's not him. Like when they knock on the tree, the Bigfoot's going to say, hold on a second, I don't think that's me.
I know a couple of really obnoxious other big feet. That's Jeff and Larry. I fucking hate those guys. Anyway, they do get a knockback, even though it's probably just the other team. And they decide that means they have to head out to the silo, where they find a big pile of miscellaneous gore.
Not the
And now
trap. The plan was to drive them towards the trap. They hear a noise, they're like, let's go to the silo. So the whole plan is fucked.
You got to remember that one time that they had the graphic of we're going to both go this direction, and then they actually showed on the map the arrow getting distracted and veering off. That's in the plan now. That's part of the format, is that we get distracted doing the one thing and wander off somewhere. So they wander off to the silo, true to format. They find a huge pile of gore, and I swear to God, there are just some sausage links like thrown on top of some things in there somewhere.
Kind of tasty, yeah.
And there's a disembodied cow head, totally intact, just like neatly set atop an exploded pile of gore, like a cow ate a hand grenade.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's his meal. We interrupted his meal. He eats by exploding a whole cow, except for its head.
But no, what you said is key, though, because they're going to use the exact words, whatever was eating on this, it's here right now. It is right there. So, boom, it's on.
They call to abandon the plan entirely. They call Willie and Wild Bill back, and they pass by the trap, where they look inside and they see kind of like another one of those Etsy wooden disco ball things. Yep. Yeah, like another caveman dream catcher.
I'm going to point something out that's going to sound really obvious in hindsight, but like these guys are ostensibly supposed to be deer hunters or bear hunters or whatever. Now, oftentimes when you hunt a deer, you'd make a blind. So you just make a little hidey hole, you hide in it, the deer comes by, you shoot it. They knew where this thing lived. They came out at night, and it walked into its own home and dropped a bunch of guts. If at any point one of these deer hunters said, hey, let's make a blind and watch this guy's home, they would have just watch this thing come home and explode a leprechaun or whatever the fuck it did to make that mess. And they would have beautiful footage of this monster, probably a dead monster. They could just shoot it. I'm just saying that, again, in the fiction in which these guys live, they're still so fucking stupid. And I find it frustrating.
They decide that the trap is totally a bust without ever trying it. Probably the reason Willie doesn't really want to live anymore. They all regroup, and Wild Bill examines the gore pile with his prop magnifying glass that he's getting a lot of mileage. That's the best $2 he ever spent. He's really having a ball with that thing. And he declares, "I'm pretty sure it's dead." And there you go. That's great. A joke.
That's a 3 out of 5 dad joke. But I also liked that the longest beat in the world happens before Buck decides it's a joke. And that part actually got me to laugh. I was like, okay, that's funny.
We need to discuss this, because the whole point is the creature. They are on the creature. They call the other guys, call it the pincer movement. That's over. It's here. It's here. This meat is still warm. It was eating just seconds ago. It is here. And then they all arrive and start just doing a comedy bit about the gut pile, because the other team doesn't know that the bit they're doing is the creature's here. Wild Bill thinks, oh, I've got to bring some comedy, because this is nothing. We already knew there were bones here. So what? Now there's guts here. Like that. How's that different than we could have just put the guts here last time? What does this tell us that we didn't already know? I've got to do some goofing, some of my classic Wild Bill bits. It's like, no. This is supposed to be like the climax. You found the thing, or one of the 4 things you came to hunt. So yes, Buck doesn't know how to react to this frankly excellent joke. A joke I have made in the woods before, when we found bones. I've walked over man, I think this thing is dead. I've done that before. It's very funny, but Buck doesn't know how to respond to it, because it's like, oh, are we doing gut goofing now, or are we acting like we're in mortal danger?
Now,
so good.
I want you to remember everything Jason said about this being the pinnacle of the climax. They have found a corpse, an active, which still steaming, apparently. This thing is here. It's at night. There's maybe 3 things. There's maybe a team up of a Bigfoot, a werebear, and a 13-year-old goth with a lot of grace. It's a deadly situation that they're in.
That's an Alpha Flight. You're describing the comic book Alpha Flight.
They're going up against Dark Alpha Flight, the only team in the world that could lose to Dark Alpha Flight. They head off after these tracks on the stunning climax, which they need, remember, to unlock Spearfinger, which will, I don't know, we don't know the stakes of that, maybe save the world or something. So the hunt is on, and then Buck steps on a nail. He steps on a nail out in the woods, and he decides, wow, that really hurt. We have to quit the hunt.
Now, do you think he really stepped on a nail in real life, and that's why they called off the episode? Or do you think they came up with this as a plot point? I also think he actually stepped on a nail.
We've said before, the most dangerous thing these guys actually face while doing the show is simply existing in the woods at night with no idea how to do that. Stuff can happen. I think they had a different ending in mind. They were probably, hopefully, going to do something more thrilling, because if they wrote Buck steps on a nail and we all go home,
I think
my God.
The fake blood is too much, enough to make me think, oh, well, this is fake. But also, I think they needed to separate Buck so that when he sees the cloaked man, he's alone. And so I think this was
okay. You think they scripted this, Sean? You think that this is? Oh, so we have disagreement here. Robert thinks that he just stepped on a nail. You think that because, by the way, look, Robert, you have, maybe both of you have written scripts for screen and TV and film. If you wrote a script where the heroes were pursuing some sort of a monster or something, and then partway through it, the hero just stepped on a nail and like, oh, I've got to go home.
Yeah, end of movie. Credits roll.
What feedback would you have gotten?
This is a comedy genius. This is so outside the box. It'll never get made, of course. If they wrote that, I don't know if I respect them more for being like self-aware of how fucking useless they are and making a really good joke, or thinking like, wow, that's good drama. He stepped on a nail. Of course we'd have to call off the hunt.
Not to put too fine a point on this, if the plot is there needs to be a crisis and then Buck has to go off somewhere to recover, and then while they're isolated and helpless, he will encounter the cloaked man. The thing that happens to him that needs to tie into the plot somehow. He needs to have been wounded by the creature. He needs to have been mind controlled. He needs to have. It can't be just he stepped on a random, because again, the plot is not that the cloaked man put a booby trap out there. That actually could have worked, that he put a devious thing to catch them. They've actually done that plot point before. They're like, nah, just some debris, because we're at a place where lots of people go, and they recklessly left.
What if the black cloaked man has just done his homework and he knows that's enough for the Ames team? He's like devising an elaborate trap, and he's like, I'm just gonna put a board with a nail in it. That'll get him.
You could leave an old coffee can out in the woods, and they will flip out and go home.
Like, I'm not working to their level. I come on. I mean, yeah, you could. It's literally the least drama they could have invented if they are inventing it. Like, you could have had the 13-year-old goth slide out and sack tab him. And then he would have been like, I gotta go home. And it would have been like higher drama.
It created one of my favorite moments, though, where he's sitting in the side-by-side and they're still out there like on a stealth mission to find a super deadly 11-foot tall monster. And Buck screams out the window, you see anything? It's like, this fucking lazy uncle watching his nephew at the park.
Okay, in the course of me complaining about all of this, they encounter the cloaked figure again, but they do a thing where they're driving along in their golf cart and they see him standing in the middle of the road. And again, it's just a guy. And they freak out, even though, again, just a guy. But he's going to walk off into the woods. And here's where you think, okay, here they're going to... That would be really freaky that he just floats without moving his body. And for those of you at home, do you want to predict what they did instead? That's right. He just plainly walks off with his very visible legs, his whole body moving the least smoothly anyone has ever walked into the woods.
And to really sell that, because you can't really see what they see. They're like filming it and you see just part of a dark figure ahead. And then they say it disappears, and you could feasibly trust them that it glided off. No, I was going to say they shoot themselves in the foot, but they step on a nail is what they do. They step on a nail here, and they flip that camera to night vision so that you can expressly see a normal-ass man turn and just walk off like he's got Sunday chores to do. He's like, well, gotta be out of here. See you boys later. Just walks off. You're like, no, he didn't float. He didn't glide. Like, you can just show each of us.
Or do anything that makes him not just a guy. They could have... Doing a special effect where somebody vanishes from a screen, that's an effect anybody can do. You can do it on accident, in fact. Like, have him disappear. It's easy. Just have him vanish. It would not cost a penny. It can be done in 15 minutes. Give me something. I'm not asking for him to shoot fire from his mouth or shoot lasers from his eyes or to have like a severed head with him, even though, again, they could have come up with something like that. Something. Anything. Because it's just a guy.
We stepped on a nail and saw a guy. It's time to go home. Adventure completed.
Get out of here.
We did miss a
Too
drinking
scary.
game. Buck did the thing where he's trying to talk all casually. Like, he's like, boy, oh boy, there's certainly no way the man in black is going to... No, I really like it when they try that.
They're going to do it in the next episode too. I wish you had never pointed that out to me. It's, what do they call that in the biz? They call it vamping, when you're supposed to
just killing time, yeah.
Make up some, just talk until the thing happens. Yeah, he is not good at it.
So Jeff pulls up his thermal camera after watching a man just walk away on it, and he sees a fire in the distance. And they determine there's some sort of object behind it, and they approach and they get closer to it, and they find out that this very sinister prop is a giant bark pinwheel.
It's pretty cool. Pretty nice.
I actually like
it. It took some work.
I
to
like
make
the
it.
prop. I actually do like the prop. It is a giant bark pinwheel. I was expecting there to be one more element to make it sinister. I'm doing the Great British Bake Off here. I needed one more thing from this.
Needed some bones on it or something.
Yeah. Carve some runes in
nice.
it. Put some blood on it. A dead animal on it. You're not above that. You've done that in plenty of things. But just
a rustic
the bark
gazebo
is like,
might have been
ooh,
nice.
and then like they even start looking at it, and I forget who says it. But somebody's like, man, how is this even held together? And Buck goes, grapevine. No, that was your chance to say some tendons or something.
Human knee ligaments.
You get
Hair.
Grapevine.
We know
is
they got
not-
leprechauns in the woods. These could be leprechaun hats.
Oh, the corpses of leprechauns, gripping each one in their little fists. So they see this prop, and everybody gets their reaction shot to it, and then Huckleberry says, damn, like he wants to fuck it. He delivers.
Yeah.
That's a big underneath like his head, zooming in low profile shot, and he goes, damn. Like, oh yeah. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I think that turns him on. Huckleberry says he's seen this before. This is a skinwalker circle. And the whole team takes that as like their cue to go, ah, shit. Like
God damn it.
It's like they pulled into a parking spot and saw a no parking sign there. And we're like, fucking skinwalker circle.
Also, why can you not give Jeff, your researcher, these lines? Why can he not be the one who says, you know what this is? But it's like, why would Huckleberry know what a skinwalker circle is? And he's the one who gets the whole monologue, like, every skinwalker has their own circle. And they put it in the heart of their own territory. This ain't no welcome sign. This is to tell you to stay the hell out of my country before I suck your soul and stuff something up your ass.
So I did read his damn correctly.
Word for word.
Well, the
He
ass
wasn't.
was bleeped, so he could have said come.
stuff something right up the cum. So Willie finds something painted on a tree, and Jeff says that's Cherokee. And they ask him, the researcher, what it says, and he says, no idea.
Hey, Buck, why don't you know what
Seriously.
it says? Remember how
You're so proud of your Cherokee blood? No, he does take a picture of it, and then, of course, it's time to continue getting the fuck out of here, where no things have happened.
I want everyone to please try to remember how they go out on this episode, which is Buck getting a phone call from some guy who speaks Cherokee, giving him the bad news of what it says. They don't tell us in this episode, but he's like, God damn it, shit, I guess I gotta tell the guys. Fuck. Like, it is bad news. Please remember that.
correct. They do that closes out, and they have an epilogue for very rare that the show does that, and it's him on the phone in his truck with his source trying to find out what these, because he sent that picture to them, but they don't tell us. It adds nothing. I swear to God, they did not film enough stuff for this episode and made him go, like, you got to give us something else. We need like another 90 seconds.
So once again, they've chased a monster, did not even come close to catching it, have taken no iconography or props or ancient relics from it that would possibly fulfill the brief they're on to unlock Spearfinger. There's 0 out of 2 for these creatures. All that was really truly accomplished in this episode is Buck stepped on a nail. And they got a solid 45 minutes of TV out of it.
Solid's a strong
This
word.
might be their worst. This might be their worst.
It might be the worst anything could be at anything.
'Cause there's been 2 other occasions, at least, where we have said at the end of our recording they shouldn't have aired this. And I know that they didn't have the option here because this is part of their intricate lore that they now have a staff writer putting together for them. This next episode is going to have a straight up Mike Flanagan monologue in it that we will get to it next time on Big Feats. But I think this episode probably shouldn't have aired.
I love the idea that they've set on this epic boss rush quest, right? And they've gone out and they've gone, all right, we're going to take down these 6 monsters, 1 per episode. All right, here's an episode 1, whiffed it. Here's episode 2, whiffed it. Here's they're going to come to the end of the series and they're going to come back to the rogue team scarecrow guy that gave them this mission and be like, we have 0 out of 6 objects. We didn't get a single one. So I don't know, man. Do we get to restart? Is this a game over or a continue or fucking 0 out of 6 is an incredible thing to come back to him too. He's going to be so disappointed. Just like we are. And on that, let's go to our favorite quotes of the episode. How about you, Sean?
Let's see. Prior to him exploding 8, we mentioned this in the show. Prior to him exploding 8 sticks trying to just hit a fucking stick against a tree, Wild Bill says, I consider myself a master at doing Bigfoot knocks. Swarp.
And then the long silent stare into camera.
Yeah.
Jason, what's yours?
Buck, when he's trying to think of something positive to say about Willie's shoddily made box trap, when they come to look at it, he decides to emphasize how big it is, even though it's not. It's a box. It's about the size you would expect a box to be that 2 men built rapidly. And to make that sound as impressive as possible, says, this thing would fit every creature we've ever hunted. Which is true. It would fit Hogzilla. The one creature they actually hunted, it would fit in here.
3 dogs.
That's and it would fit Hogzilla and those 3 dogs.
And they would become best friends.
What he said, completely accurate.
My favorite's a little moment when they were building the trap. Willie looks to Wild Bill, and Wild Bill is picking up some logs, and Willie says, "Come on, mule," and gives him a little smack. And you just know, I love it because you just know Wild Bill was rock hard after that.
Yeah. He's like, abuse me, daddy.
Come on, mule. Ugh.
What a terrible show.
Yeah, they really blew it. So this was done by a staff writer. This could have been his first one. He watched a couple of episodes. He's like, I think I get it. Let me just do one, come back with your notes. They're like, no, this is fine. We'll fucking go film this.
The next one will be better, right?
Because you had the